first half of the episode is complete. Transmission mount to it. That's a good thing. Second thing we're going to do, this is not going to take that long on video, or movie magic if you want to call it. It just takes a ton of time. This right here, where the old fuse box was, and this was a non-fuse box upper car, which means this was an earlier model, this is a later model. And how to put it all in here, and I have the tie bars in for the cage and so forth, and you'll see where everything goes in me putting this all back together again. It's long, it's tedious. You will see a very short amount of time in this, but it'll give you an idea of what's going on, of joining the upper two halves and making everything fit. And the reason why you want to really seal this thing up is because you don't want rain on your feet, which will be bad. It's miserable. Had it in a couple of rallies, rain pouring on your feet from the panel. It was just terrible, and I don't like that at all. So let's get right onto it. I'm going to go put a blade in this old chop saw and sawzall, and go chop out some bits and pieces to graft in here. Let's get going. First thing we have to do, we have to weld up the A-pillar. Over here, the metal is fairly thick, but if you take a look at the inner, because they use two different size metal. This is like the main support structure than just a sheet metal tin to match up here. Let me show you. If you can take a look, see the sheet metal? It's very, very thin. And it matches up to this. It's, it's like probably 22 gauge. What I went to was our handy dandy filing cabinet metal. And took this. What I doing is, I wanted to put it in there and see how far it goes before it hits right here there's a cross-section brace inside here. If you were going to ever use this for a road car that did not have a roll cage, you have to chop this out and weld that in, because that is what is your rollover protection, is the internal. We are not going to be doing that because we have a cage that we're tying in to the A pillar, the B pillar, and the C pillars, pretty much. I mean, you're tying them in just, via the rear strut towers anyway. So, but your main thing is crushing onto your head, and you have a roll cage. It's, this is so much more protection than just this. It's ridiculous. But we still have to fuse this metal. So the only way I figured out how to do it, this thing always goes back and it goes to a certain point and it can't go any further. So what I did was, after I cut it out, I chopped it, turned it, so when I want to put it in there, I can do this, and I can put it up against and weld it all to it. Then I'll build another piece right here, weld that, weld this, and weld this all in, and that way we can get the A pillar actually done. I got to do the same thing over on that side, and then we can start putting together the scuttle panel. Now, as you can see, we have all these bars right here, and right here is where the diagonal comes across, and this is where it'll stop, and we'll have to weld in. This is the reason why I didn't tack these in. We have to fill in all of this stuff right here. That's going to be the hard part, and the worst part is just trying to get in here and weld everything. This is just horrible because there's no room and you can barely see. Also, what we have to do is see this right here. This is the drain hole. When the water comes in, you need it to go out here. This is where you need it to go. So I got to basically grind up all this so I can weld everything and seal up this entire area after I put, and this is like the bottom bar that goes from the bottom thing up to there. So I have to figure out exactly where it is and notch it around and then put it in the plates. Well, theoretically. So let me grind up this stuff. Alright, we need to fill the gap. Cleaned off some metal right here. So you're just going to use the pliers. There. So we're going to get it in there, sneak it in there. I'm not going to cut on both sides, I'm just going to cut on one side. It's welded up. I need to clean it with a grinder, of course. I have to clean up all this so I can weld it off. One thing I forgot to say is that I remember, I think it was back in one of the first episodes, always keep grinding, when the grinding discs are used up, or with their 4 or 4.5 inch grinder, always keep them. And you can use them on a die grinder, which I used a carbide bit over there, which I shouldn't have. I should have just used my arbor that I put together to make the grinding wheels fit. So all I have to do is go right here and see, grinds are pretty good. I'm going to go grind some up on there and just weld this up a little bit. I'm just going to weld it right here, and I'm going to weld the inside a little bit, and that's it. Then we're going to finish welding in all the plates inside there. I just want to get that done first. Now we have to fix the train, that I chopped all this stuff out when I was putting on the top part and the bottom part of the shell. And also trying to put the cage in, I chopped it all off. I have to have a piece of metal that comes in that brings down to the strain pan. So it's good to here, but I'm going to come back to here and trim everything I can, because the more you, if you can get the whole thing off, you don't have to grind it back until you get this stuff all cut. So you have to pretty much just slowly cut it out. And I'm going to show you what I'm going to do with this here in just a second also. But let's figure out, as you can see, the normal New Hampshire can. So let's leap into action. Alright. That's how it's going to sit. There's probably going to be a hole right here, or a hole right here, something like that for the roll cage. Let's go test fit it. As you can see, here is the first hole, here's the first hole, here's the first hole here. And this thing is just tacked in. If you take a look, this right here is where the grommet for the hood release goes. And this is for the hood release right here. You go like that, and it's pretty close. So we need to clean up this, give this a little bit of a trim right there. A little bit of a trim right there. And let me mark that. And we can start taking off some of the undercoating so we can weld it. I think we cut that off. And I think if we cut this right here off, it'll fit more flush. Now I got to clean this all off with the grinder and be able to tack it in. But what are we going to do first? I think the first thing we're going to do is find out where this thing goes. Not perfect, but man, because it's all going to be sealed in there, shouldn't be that bad. Now we're on to getting the surrounds for this. I mean, the one in back of here is not going to be too much of a problem. What I have here, this came from that 84. This right here is the front windshield lip, basically. What we need is this portion right here, and I want it to go far down, as far down as I can, So let's just let's trim this up, and it'll give us something to work with. Well, let's see what happens. Let me see if I can make something out of this. Well, here we go. I like this portion right here. And if you go down, actually, I kind of want this thing to flow into here. So if it's going to do that, I think the best course of action would be, seeing how that is, that'll go right there. Let's cut this side. We can bend that down. It's all going to have to be welded anyway, so let's just cut that and see what happens. It's trimmed out. We got plenty of meat over here. We go right there. It looks pretty cool, and it butts right up to here, which I really like. You know, I might have to, I'll bend this up and bend it down a little bit, but it'll tweak it a little bit there and pound this down. But it looks pretty decent. What I gotta do? Take the grinding wheel, grind this thing down so I can put the bar onto there, and cut this off so we can figure out where to bend down to match the bar, that bar down there coming up. Leap into action. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to cut it down to here, bend this down and see how little I can cut off. Because that's the main thing, is how little I can cut off. I just gave it a couple of slices down where I marked it, pushed it down like I'm going to make another plate right here for this. Put it right there. Boy, is this slow. This is slow. This is terrible. Well, keep going. Well, what do you think of that? Take a look. The only thing I did do is I took this over to the vise, opened up the jaws a little bit, took a ball peen hammer and tapped it down just a little bit. What I think I have to do now, because it's relatively, it's all the same nail, but it's relatively easy to, very malleable. There we go. One thing I think I should do is I'll bring it back over to the vise, and you see where this line is right here? I'm going to go up like that. Actually, no, I should go over like this right here and bend straight down to match this metal. That should be fairly easy. Let me just try that. This thing goes right into this trough. What I want to do next, I am going to grind this out, and I'm going to start welding. Grind out all this and start welding it in. Because this stuff is just going to be small bits and pieces welded in. Not bad. But we need to get this thing squared away. Then I can bend this down to conform over there to get rid of the hole for the hood release. We can get rid of that, start welding this in, and start mating everything up. Grinding it all up and making it look kind of cool. We are getting there. This is pretty much all set. What I want to do now is I'm just going to clean this down here. And I'm going to weld it and drop everything. So let me just take the grinder, clean this up a little bit, clean up this edge a little bit, and I am going to weld her on up. Well, just finished up that side. Didn't fully weld it, but I tacked it in and everything's there. Not really sure. I almost want to bring this thing outside, sandblast all the seams like I wanted to do with all in through here anyway, and then weld it all. I'm not sure. I might just grind it and weld it up. Same thing on this side. I didn't show you making the plate to cover the fuse box over there because the GoPro filled up. Had to go download the footage, come back down. But I wanted to finish that up first. And I just filmed that. Now, we have to make the next plates for this side. This side's much easier. There's no real complex curves, nothing like that. This was a, right here, was a failure on that side. From the Coupe GT, oh, sits right there, no problem, gonna make it work. Next thing, this came from the GC8 Impreza WRC or 22B build, whatever you want to call it. Just chopped it out of the quarter, you know, it's rust-free metal, painted on one side. And it'll fit right up, and let's make this. Well, this is roughly what I'm going to just weld. I'm just going to cut it and see where it falls. That's it. Just use the hole saw and bing, bang, boom. Well, I think we're going to end this episode right there. What we have done. Did the transmission mounts. Doing the plates, you know, I got to finish welding them up, cutting them. And I have to put a patch right here because this was the AC unit right there. And this is the blower motor for the heater. There we go. Tired. Well, till next time, you can do whatever you want. You just put your mind to it. And this is more hillbilly recycle. Pretty much it, you know. Let me just all finish up this off camera and start to put everything in. And there's a reason why I'm doing this right now. I really want to do it because actually on the next episode we're going to continue. I'm going to show you more about this. Fitting the strut tie bar, fitting these bars, getting them welded up, and I'll show you what I've done on how to clean up some of this stuff to make sure it all, you know, goes fairly well. But there's a reason why I want to get this stuff done. It's to fit it's to fit the front. So we needed this in there. We need these in here next to fit the front, to fit the fenders, and to fit this and to fit that, and well, a whole bunch of stuff. So until next time, I really appreciate you watching, and just remember, I'm trying to do this without any major tools that you can possibly get. You know, you can do it if you want to, you know. It doesn't take much, and don't make an excuse. Just do it. You know, I'm nothing special. All right. Hey, we'll talk to you later. Thank you.